So did everybody get their HiroQuest CDs? I'm just kidding. Hello and welcome back, I am the One-Eyed Crow, and today we're here to talk about the MetaZoo Weekly news for June 5th to June 11th. But first, and if you've already entered, please don't skip ahead. I'd like to point out something that was brought to my attention with the 500 subscriber giveaway on the Caster's Corner Discord. Some people have been liking the wrong post. They've been liking the description of the giveaway rather than the GiveawayBot post, which is actually what's going to be calculating who wins. So if that's you, or if you're unsure, please go back to the Caster's Corner Discord. Please go to the giveaways channel and just double check that you clicked the GiveawayBot. It's the one that looks like this, and that will ensure that you click the right one to be eligible to win the prize. And as I mentioned in my last video, if we can get that to 100 entries, I'm going to include a Walmart hanger. And if we can get that to 200 entries, I'll include something else, 300 entries, something else, so on and so forth. So if you haven't entered, it's actually really easy. You just need to be subscribed to this channel, go to the Caster's Corner Discord, which there's a link in the description below, and click the emoji on the correct post in the giveaways channel. And good luck to all of you that enter. Alright, so let's get into the MetaZoo news. On June 5th, we got to look at another Funko design, this one for Bunnyman. And Bunnyman is one of my favorites, so this is practically already in my collection. So for the Funkos that we know about so far, we know of Mothman, Dragon of Akanto Falls, Bunnyman, and the Jersey Devil. And the Jersey Devil was a really easy one to miss. It was dropped for just a couple of seconds on June 7th. It's one of the ones that was teased very quickly and pulled away. And in last week's update, when I first found out about the Funkos, I had asked you guys, what Funkos do you want to see? And the feedback there was that you guys want to see Cumberland Dragon, Stone Man, Indrid Cold, Piazza Bird, Salamander Queen, Wendigo, Loveland Frogman, and Flatwoods Monster. And those are all great choices. And for me personally, the Wendigo and the Bunnyman are going to be my absolute favorite. Now I think it could be interesting if MetaZoo did something very similar to what they're doing with the Collecticon promos, and did a Funko line that was very similar to that. In the case of Cumberland Dragon, this started out as the egg, and as we know, it's slowly hatching, and then eventually evolves into its mainstream form. This would be a really interesting collectible to do with Funko, something that would look great on the shelves side by side, and I'm only going to ask for 10% of the royalties for the idea. On June 6th, they dropped this image for a lunchbox in Thermos. I did a reverse image search on this and it brought me to lunchbox.com, and what's interesting here is that there actually is a version where it's just the lunchbox. So the Thermos doesn't seem to be on accident. And unless I'm reading into that too much, I think this means that they're probably going to market a true lunchbox and Thermos, rather than what Pokemon did and had these tins that they would release seasonally that really were just holders for the cards that were fancy. You put it on the shelf. You don't really use it as a lunchbox. Maybe you do. I don't know what poor choices you make. Also on June 6th, we got our first look at the UFO Pin Club. MetaZoo dropped a teaser of this Van Meter pin. Now I do personally like the Pin Club. I don't do the full collection of Pin Club. I'll open one case and see what I get. But I know that there's some people out there that like to collect all of them, and UFO is going to be no exception. So let me know in the comments below what you think is going to be in the UFO Pin Club, and what you think the chases are going to be. For another update on June 6th, we got to look at the pack art that's going to be used in the HiroQuest CD. And they had said that this is going to be the most unique booster pack to date, and it really is because it's a big old square design, similar to what you're going to find in a CD. And on that pack art, we have Hiro front and center, and on either side of him is Zombie Mothman and Robo Hodag. And if you look in the background there, you can identify some more cryptids in the pink mist, most notably over on the left is Wendigo. And while we're talking about HiroQuest, you already know from my last video that it is delayed until June 16th, that it's only going to be available on the DimMac website, which I'll put a link in the description below so you can find that easier. It's going to have about 70 cards in the set. You'll get one card per CD that you buy, and each CD is going to run you about $5.99. Now, this did originally accidentally drop early on the 7th, and I was able to check out with 10, and my shipping costs were about $20. So be prepared for some shipping shock there, because the shipping cost there would be about 25% of the overall total. And then the last update for June 6th is that we got a reminder that the fan art contest ends on June 15th. And you don't need to send the bookmark in at that point, you just need to have the Google form filled out by then with the upload of what you're submitting. Alongside that announcement, they teased this entry by Kim Smith of The Snoffus, and this is a really cute, awesome entry that was done for the fan art contest, and a really good representation of what I think a Snoffice would look like in the MetaZoo format. Alright, on to June 7th, there was an announcement that the LGS kits were back online and they were still free. So if you're an LGS and you didn't get in on the first wave of those, you still have some time. Those will be up until the 14th. And with those, unless you're partnered, you can only get one. Partners can actually get two, and I believe they also get those for free as part of the partnership. And just a reminder, getting an LGS kit from the MetaZoo Marketplace puts you on an allow list that's given to the distributors so they know who they can work with UFO allocation in the future. And that doesn't guarantee you future allocation, it just puts you on the list of allowed LGSs to work with. Going forward, each set will have an LGS kit, so we can expect to see one with UFO, and LGSs that continue to purchase LGS kits with each set will get a discount. And we don't know what that looks like yet, it's just mentioned in the text there on the marketplace, but it seems like a loyalty bonus for sticking with the LGS kits as the new sets come out. Later on June 7th, we got an update that I know nothing about. I was showing my friend Adam the post for this, and I was like, oh look, shoes. And he's like, those are Nike Air Force Ones. I'm like, what's that? So obviously, you should trust nothing I say about shoes. In the MetaZoo Hour last week, it was announced that they're still working on shoes, and they were working with somebody special. And what this announcement was for was to announce that they're working with Kickstradomis. Kickstradomis is an artist and whatnot streamer, and looking at his Instagram, he primarily specializes in shoes, but he's done some other things. And some of the cool ones that I found on the Instagram are these Joker sneakers here, which I think are really cool, and I think portray what could be done with MetaZoo. And this set of shoes here, which relates to the Amazon Prime show The Boys. So overall, his work is very interesting, very unique, and very high quality, and something that I'm really excited to see what MetaZoo does with. There are a lot of people out there that collect shoes, and this could open up MetaZoo to a whole new market. Again, one that I know nothing about. June 7th was also National Tarot Card Day, and also in a MetaZoo Hour recently, they announced that they're going to do something with tarot cards with Seance. And with this particular announcement on the Discord, they were saying that they're actually going to have a tarot card tent at Collecticon Long Beach. And since we know that the tarot cards are going to be a lot more related to Seance than they are UFO, that the Collecticon is August 20th and 21st, and that Seance comes out this fall, I think it's highly likely that we'll start seeing the Seance spoiler packs at Long Beach. And for the last update on June 7th, we got to look at these foil samples, and there's no pattern on these, and the only thing that we've seen so far that is foil but doesn't have a pattern is the UFO booster boxes and spellbooks. So I'd imagine that these are samples sent to Mike so he can look them over for the UFO set. On June 8th, we got to look at the rigging for Sent into Space, and this is a pretty cool looking rig here. In this mock-up, you can see that it has what I believe is a battery pack on top, 2 boxes on the bottom, which are cameras, a screen, and a plexiglass holder with cards. And I imagine on that screen, they're either going to be playing a UFO release teaser, or they're actually going to be announcing the UFO song as part of the Sent into Space program. And shortly after they dropped that mock-up, they dropped an image of the real thing, so we got to look at the screen and the 12 cards next to it. Now it's important to remember here there are 10 auras, but there's also neutral, so there's 11 possible cards if you include all of the auras and the neutral. And from what I can tell in this image, there's actually 2 cosmic cards in there in slot 5 and 9. The card in slot 3 is the Earth Beastie. We already know that this is Gaorao from the leak from last week. And if you take a closer look at that, you can actually see that the traits that you can see in this image match up to the traits in Gaorao. And then all the way back in slot 11 is the Lightning Beastie. We already know that this is what I'm calling the Space Clams because I don't know the real word for those yet. And this first Beastie in the front here is the Flame Beastie for these cards, and it has had some heavy smudge tool done on it, so we can't figure out what it is. And in true MetaZoo fashion, the picture is pretty grainy, so it's hard to actually read the card. It looks like it might say smoke or snake there. Not quite sure. And from this image, we can also see that 2 of them are serialized out of 10 cards. We already know this from Gaorao, which was serialized out of 10. And that goes along with the messaging on the Space Clams when the teaser for that dropped, that it's going to be 1 out of 10 that are going to space. So I think it's safe to say that all of these are going to be serialized out of 10, and there might be one exception to that. There are the 2 cosmic cards there, 1 could be out of 10, maybe 1's a 1 of 1. Or going the opposite way, maybe 1's 1 of 100 and is going to be more common for however these are going to be released. On June 8th, it was also announced that the Seance Playtesting sign-up is live, so if you're interested to playtest Seance, jump on that, fill out that form. If you're someone that already plays on Tabletop Simulator a lot anyway, you really have nothing to lose here. I've been around for a couple of these sign-ups. I always want to sign up, but I honestly just don't have the time to juggle doing these videos and spending the time playtesting, so I never actually sign up. But it would be really cool to have a Seance playtester card. This week we've been plagued by the when gif. In all honesty, it's a pretty cool MetaZoo gift of a snipe smashing his head against a when button, picking on all of us that keep asking when. And this gift took over the chats for multiple days. I would be happy not seeing this for a while. But while we have it up there, when golden ticket. And for the last update on June 8th on Facebook and Instagram, we got a look at the Smokey Bear promo. So we know that this is going to come with 3 packs. We now know it's going to come with a Smokey Bear coin. And this is the first time we're actually seeing what Smokey Bear does. And he does nothing. I mean, you could play it, but why? So it's definitely a card that I see people collecting just to have in their collection, but not to actually use during play. June 9th was MythicDeo's birthday. He is the head moderator for the Discord. Mike had said he's 19, but then in the chat, MythicDeo had said he's actually 29, and now I have a ton of trust issues when Mike releases a birthday announcement. And a few weeks back, he announced that Chaos Crystal Enthusiast, or Andy, turned 40, and now I honestly don't know if I offended him by calling him old or not. So, sorry. On June 9th, it was announced that the Wilderness Watch is being retired from the MetaZoo Marketplace, which was really surprising to me because I had no idea the Wilderness Watch was even on the MetaZoo Marketplace. Now, it is a nice looking watch, to be honest. It's made out of wood, which is really interesting and very wilderness themed. I'm not sad I missed it, I'm just sad I didn't know about it. Our last update for June 9th was the drop of the Roswell logo, and the announcement text read UFO Release Event. So I'm not quite sure if that means that they're partnering with the Roswell Visitor Center for the release, or if there's actually going to be some kind of physical event on location at the Roswell Visitor Center. And the Roswell Visitor Center itself isn't really that big. I wouldn't see having a function there. There is a small park next door, so it's possible they could do a small get-together there. I'd be interested to see more of that as that goes on. I'm also curious if maybe they're going to do kind of what they did with the Wilderness Release Event medal, which is that it's tied to actually buying something somewhere. In this case, for Wilderness, it was buying the binder on the MetaZoo Marketplace. They could do something similar with the Roswell Visitor Center, where you get the Release Event medal if you buy something from the Visitor Center. Only time will tell on that one. On July 10th, we got to look at a few partnerships, and these ones are really interesting because they're all international. And I know that I have some viewers from Australia, so I'm actually really excited to announce that there's some Australian partnerships, and those are BC Protectors Pity Limited, don't know what pity stands for. Party? Pity? Party? Pity Party? Aussie Brickster Collectibles, and Mint Collectibles. So if you're in Australia, congratulations, you actually have UFO most likely around the release date or on the release date. And I know that's been a huge problem for CN2 and Wilderness. You guys just got those. So I'm excited that there's hints that you guys are being taken care of more now. And the last partnership announced that day was for a Canadian store called Infinity Cards. So congratulations to Canada. I'd also like to remind everybody that the profile picture NFTs will be dropping on the 24th for the allow list, and those will be dropping at 0.1 Ethereum, or about $200 roughly. The allow list day is for those who had a Genesis token or a token NFT on the 15th of May, when the snapshot was taken. The following day on the 25th is the public mint, that'll be at 0.11 Ethereum, or about $220, and that's when everybody else can get in on it. And then the free mint day is on the 26th, so there are some held aside for everybody that owned a token in the snapshot on the 15th, and they'll be able to get those on the 26th. It is free, but you will have to pay gas fees. In fact, everybody has to pay gas fees on top of the costs of actually minting. And I'm actually really excited for this. I'm gonna participate, and I've actually jumped in on the NFTs this week. Not only did I get a Silver Party token on Monday, which I'm really excited about. I think that's going to be an asset for the channel and for what I can provide to you guys. I did actually pick up a Genesis token as well. I picked up a Bigfoot before they do the burn and replace. And with the profile picture NFTs coming out, my goal is to kind of just take one of every NFT as they come out, if I'm lucky. Now, I'm not trying to build out the full set of NFTs like some people are. I do want to just have a few, maybe one from each set: Genesis, token, profile picture, etc. And I've said it before, MetaZoo is one of the few or only NFTs that I've seen that actually has real utility to their NFTs. So really, as a content creator dedicated to MetaZoo, it was a no-brainer for me, but I get they're not for everyone. And we had another week without a MetaZoo hour, so there's nothing really to update there. I do hope there is one soon, because I do have some questions around some of the releases coming out. We're a third of the way through June, and we still haven't heard anything about Wilderness Revive, which is dropping this month. And we still don't know anything about the Golden Ticket. So I just want to bring those up again when the MetaZoo hour comes around and see if we can get some answers on some of this, or at least a timeline on when we're going to get more information. Well, that's all I want to discuss for this week's update. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one.